We are going to be live right now, and you're hearing two versions of this show because, well, I didn't shut my other video player off. Jason, we're
trying
here.
to get back to the groove. Yes, this is like the official handoff.
We're back on Monday night here. Yep, Ian's with us already. Thank you for joining us right away, Ian, this evening. Tonight we're going to be talking Wedding MBA. We're going to be talking about everything else that we can think of because we've got an hour to fill.
Wow, and no one wants to fill an hour like we do.
Exactly. I mean, we were thinking about what could we be doing tonight? Could we be watching the Vikings game, or could we be coming to you live?
Right. And we chose live.
We chose live.
Glad.
So we're going to start out. We're going to talk to a few different folks here right now. Going on in Las Vegas is Wedding MBA, and Randy Bartlett's taking the stage. Rob, are you with us yet?
I'm still working on trying to get my video up.
I'll tell you what. Let's not worry about the video. Let me give us your rundown of today and a few things that were highlights for you, and then we'll let you go catch Randy Bartlett. So,
okay, great.
Rob Peters is on with us, gang. This is going to be kind of a call-in show tonight, for lack of a better way to describe our show.
Yeah, well,
right.
I bought a Samsung. You would have thought I would have learned how to use it by now. But
well, it hasn't started on fire yet, so we're in good shape.
Right.
Oh no, it's not one of those. It's not one of those. Hey, Jason, what's up, man?
Hey, Rob.
Hey, so listen, no, you know what? The last time I was at Wedding MBA was like 5 years ago, and I know opening day. The opening day is usually something that at any conference is usually something that attracts a lot. And today was definitely no doubt. They started the morning with a series of Ask the Expert kind of panels. And what was really cool is you had everything from sales to social media to conflict resolution and wedding business law and SEO and online marketing.
Wow.
And they floated like Alan Berg floated. Like every time I turned around, Alan Berg was in a different room from Wedding Wire. So it was kind of crazy. But what was really nice about that is some of the people that we all know in the business, Scott Favor being one of them, they were kind of like the hosts in these rooms, and they kind of moderated the topics. And it was your opportunity. You could walk in with almost like any problem relevant to the topic, and you had somebody there that was able to answer these questions for you. And it was very interactive, it was very fast paced too, because you got your answer, but at the same time, so many people were in these rooms that it was standing room only.
Wow.
But it was a lot of fun. Wow. And then, we broke for lunch, and the convention center had a couple of different options. What was changed from 5 years ago is you just had the restaurants here, and now they actually set up vendors right on the concourse where you could go. They had like Quiznos and a coffee shop, and you could grab your lunch and you could just chow down and do some of that hallway talk that all these conventions are really well known for.
Yeah.
And then we got right back into it. And what they did for the afternoon is they divided you by industry, and they had topics all afternoon based on your industry. So like wedding planners had their own little breakout sessions, and the DJ and lighting sessions were really good today, as well as the photo booth ones, because a lot of DJs they actually have that whole photo booth thing as part of their business. So
yes.
There was a lot of crossover there. And, I sat in on what was called Fight the Funk. It was called The Art of the Wedding DJ. And these guys were really cool because they were actually mixing live in front of a room of DJs. So you think about that for a minute. Okay, talk about pressure on pressure.
Yes.
If that mix doesn't go over that well, not only is it going to show, but you got a room full of DJs that are going to be sitting there and kind of going off on it. So
right.
And then Mike Walter took the stage and did a really good job with his seminar after the rehearsal. And it was filled with just that blend that Mike brings to the table. He brings that mix of MC and performance and kind of ties it all together. And it was really, really a really good seminar. And then KC was up on stage and talking about aligning bridal expectations so that to improve the experience that they have. And at the same time, I caught his for a little bit, but I actually also floated across the hall because we had a photo booth breakout with Sid Vanderpool about red hot photo booth stuff. So, I mean, like I said, it's one of these things. I'm like a big sponge out here, and it's like you got to pick where you're going and what you're doing. And the photo booth stuff was just as good. Dr. Drax the president of the ADJA, also has rolled out his photo booth association. So he's
Oh,
running
wow.
back and forth doing breakout sessions for both of those too. Scott Faber's actually just wrapping up right now, doing some more behind the scenes, more of the business element of running a photo booth. And Randy Bartlett just took the stage. So it's really been a really good day. Ron Ruth, I almost forgot about Ron's presentation because Ron's was really good too. The good and the bad and the ugly about customer service. So a lot of people here, you guys, like a lot. Like I remember when I walked in 2 years ago and I sat there and I looked and I'm like, wow, look at all these people that do what we do. It's bigger this year.
Wow.
And I had the pleasure of talking to Will, the show promoter, yesterday. He actually recognized me from when I spoke here 5 years ago, even though I've gained weight and lost hair. And he was just like, yeah, we've got a lot of stuff going on. And I got to tell you, I come out to these seminars and I go home charged. If you're not here, you're missing out, guys, because truthfully, there are nuggets all over the place that you can pick up. And I've already got probably about 10 pages of notes just from today alone. And it's going to be a good time when I get back to Boston and get things rolling. But this definitely is one of the shows that if you're in the wedding business should be on your calendar for next year.
Rob, as you're looking at this compared to a DJ convention, give me a couple of differences besides, you mentioned size. If you're just going to give a couple of, so people can kind of compare and contrast.
I think topic. I think when you look at the topics obviously where they're geared towards weddings, it's not the stuff they have planned for tomorrow. And tomorrow is like the powerhouse. Like you look at a kickoff tomorrow morning, the 4 common wedding industry pitfalls. The topics can speak to whether you're a DJ or a photographer or a videographer. You know what I mean? The topics really do hit you as a DJ, even though it might not be another DJ. And I guess that's the other big thing is in the breakout sessions today, it's DJs teaching DJs because, the ADJA was the sponsor of a lot of the educational content. Tomorrow, you've got Carly Rooney, who's the co-founder of The Knot, speaking at 9:00. To an entire room full of wedding people.
When you say an entire, Rob, when you say an entire room, are you talking 500 people? Give me a ballpark.
I got to be honest with you. I couldn't even put a number on it right now because I've been in breakout sessions all day. I can give you that number tomorrow. And honestly, you're looking in the thousands. I know when I was here a few years ago, it was over 2,000. And I can honestly say just, looking at the lines for lunch, I want to say that you're looking at that same thing this year too.
Wow.
And but I guess the one big main difference, you go to a DJ conference and you've got everything that appeals to us. You've got your performance, you've got wedding, you've got mitzvah, you've got that little source of inspiration that kind of ties it all together. When you come here, you're eating, sleeping, and breathing weddings.
Wow. Rob, do you ever like kind of sneak into the other areas, like sneak in to see what the training is for the event planners, or the other areas that kind of cross over?
I didn't today because I came in actually on a mission. When I go to these, I sit down with the program like 2 weeks out, and it's honestly like I'm back going to college again. I'm going, okay, I'm going here, and I'm doing this.
Right.
You know what? I'm going to plot out 10 minutes in between these two to use the bathroom, and I'm that ADD. But I'm out here actually with JD Fields from Seattle, and he actually, we were talking actually before we went on. He's actually taking notes for me in the Randy Bartlett seminar right now, so I can come out and hang out with you guys. And he went and sat in the wedding planning one, and he said, it's kind of like what I just talked about. It was geared towards the planners, but at the same time, he was able to find that little nugget that kind of spoke to what he was looking to get out of some of this. So I think it's very, very focused today on the industry. So looking at the program, the photographer one, I don't think I could really get a whole bunch out of it because it's got to do with banning camera phones and get your upsells up front, which I missed this morning, and it looks like I probably could have got something out of. But you really got to look at, when you come to this, You can't just, it's not like you can just go in and go, you know what, I'm going to go to this one and I'm going to go to that one and just kind of plot it out that day. There is so much you could learn here. You really do need to plot it out.
And it doesn't sound like it feels like too much.
Honestly, when you look at it at first, you look at it and you go, wow, there's so much. I don't know where to begin. Like, there are some seminars on Wednesday that are actually, believe it or not, they're put on by two people in our industry that are at the exact same time. And you look at that and you go, I want to be in both of them. But the people that run the Wedding MBA do a really good job with a lot of this stuff. And, you know, the one thing that you see, and John, you asked about this, and I may as well bring it up, is the really cool thing is they're already advertising for next year. And if you book this week, it's an incredible deal. If you book your pass for next year now, they've already got this all plotted out. They've already started talking about what they're going to put in to next year so that you'll come back again. Yeah. So it's one of these things that you see the continuing ed being, and you don't see the same seminars too often twice.
Yeah, crazy how much they put into this. I mean, it's an incredible event. Rob,
I just wish I had a camera, because honestly, I feel bad. You guys are on, and they all think, "Oh, wow, we got Rob Peters," and
they can hear you.
The guy knew how his phone worked, you know.
No, they can hear you.
And nobody can impersonate your voice. I mean,
oh, good.
So they know it's you.
Thanks, guys.
No, that's a good thing, Rob.
Oh, thank you.
Good stuff.
Thank you. But and you know, it's funny because there is a camaraderie with a lot of the DJs out here too. So even though this is a industry-wide conference, a whole bunch of it, you know, it's kind of like when we do any of the other shows in any of the other towns. There's always these groups that are getting together. Like, there's a group of probably about 40 of us going over for dinner tonight. And it's going to be one of those hallway dinner discussions that I mean, I'm coming with, you know, writer's cramp and an empty notebook, just because there's so much more that you can get out of this that just it goes outside the box. I will say this though, the big thing obviously here is it being wedding oriented. We were sitting in a photo booth Q&A earlier, and somebody brought up something that wasn't relevant to weddings, and they acknowledge it, but at the same time they really do want to steer the content and what you're trying to learn on just a wedding level.
Interesting. Before we let you go, Rob, because I want you to get back in with Randy here in just a couple of minutes, is there anything you picked up in the hallways that is like a hot thing that we should have on our radar here in the next coming months?
I got to be honest with you. There's too many that I could put in 5 minutes.
Oh, geez. Wow, we're ready. How fast can you talk? Go.
No, you know what? I think you see a lot of different conversations going on. You do see a lot of people who are in their like industries and stuff. I don't see anything really trending at the moment, but I'm still trying to digest it all myself. I mean, we're still in the middle of the whole thing. A lot of this stuff though is geared on bringing the industry up another notch. And you see that with the quality of people that are walking around here.
Yeah, very cool.
But you know, obviously, I now that I know, you know, I haven't really noticed that there was any one thing that should be something we should be watching out for right now. Being on the show floor tomorrow, I think that's going to be a different story.
Great. We'll look forward to that.
And hopefully, I'll have my camera tomorrow, and I can actually show you what some of it looks like.
Yeah, take recordings.
Yep, that would be great.
You know what?
Secret shopper, Rob. The secret shopper.
Well, no, that's the one thing that, and I will share this. You know, they're very strict about the recording. And you know what? Since you brought it up, there is something on your radar that that they cracked down on. And somebody was in one of the seminars today and was broadcasting the seminar live on Facebook Live.
Oh.
And they went and found them and asked them to leave.
Oh my.
So I mean, I don't think industry-wide that's something, but you know, as somebody who's involved behind the scenes with some of these shows, I think it's something that you're going to see, you know, at some point you're not going to, you know, they're going to be watching out for this stuff.
Oh, for sure. Because it's very easy and quick to do now with those phones. And especially at the convention center, you get such a great connection there.
But, oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, you know what? I have a great connection. The issue with my phone has nothing to do with the internet.
Yeah.
It had everything to do with the fact that honestly, I downloaded the software. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get in there. I'm going to be the first guy on, because all of your other DJs and all the other people that would be contributing right now are probably in with Randy
They are
Bartlett.
in with Randy. Yep.
Yes, right.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, you know what? I've got two friends. I'm here with Tony D from Wichita and JD.
Oh, yeah.
And I said to these guys, I said, listen, I said, you know what? Let me at least fill them in on what's going on. And we're really cool about, you make friends in this business. You go to these things and it's like, okay, we all sat down and we said, well, JD's going to go to this one and that's cool. And that's how you divide that whole thing up. So,
yeah, really get the most out of it.
Mm-hmm. But
Sounds cool. Sounds exciting.
that's what I'm looking forward to. I mean, it's gorgeous out here. It's not oppressively hot or humid. It's in the high 70s, and you've got a cool breeze outside. So
Nice.
it's a nice time of year to be out here.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm hoping they'll pick that up in the house.
Yeah. I'm like, who's calling?
See, here's the negative thing about me moving gang from one side of the office to the other side. Now I'm by the phones, and I have no idea how to shut that ringer off. I guess I might have to.
You know what? Pick the phone up, unit it all, and just pull until it falls out of the wall. That'll do the trick.
Yeah, she'll be proud of me for that one.
Yeah.
This is how you prove it's really live.
Yeah, exactly. Now people are going to start calling. Well, look at I'm ringing the.
Yeah, right. Keep calling John while he's live.
Rob, we need to let you go so you can get back in there. Thank you for coming on here and sharing some
great
insight.
overview.
Well, you know what? I'll be happy to come back on tomorrow and give you a little bit of an update and figure out this camera thing. So maybe I could share some video from the show floor, perhaps something that everybody at home we can give them a little taste of what they're missing out on.
Yeah, let's message back and forth and see what time we can work that out for tomorrow.
Absolutely, not a problem.
All right, wonderful, Rob. Thank you much. You'll need to hit on your phone the leave meeting, and we'll chat tomorrow.
Sounds like a plan, guys. Listen,
right.
enjoy.
Have fun, Rob.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. So
wow, he was definitely excited. Like he wasn't even faking.
No, that is such a cool aspect of that show. I mean, you've got. As he said, there's thousands of people who come to that thing, and just so much different than what we're used to at different DJ conventions that we go to.
Oh yeah, having to be so big, and it's so funny with the recording thing, the way they're like, oh, are you broadcasting this? I mean, in a way, it's like a double-edged sword. I mean, it's like they should be so fortunate that somebody would like broadcast it and people would watch it, because to me, it's not going to be like, oh, I don't need to go because I might pick up something on Facebook Live, but it's like, this is really good. I should get out there next year. It's almost like a promotion tool, don't you think?
I think there's a little bit of that, and that's why I think some of the early, and I say for the last 6 months, some of the different conventions are looking at that. But this is something Ryan and I already had this conversation about Mobile Beat next year. Is that because of Facebook Live and these streaming things being so quick and easy, the only really positive thing you've got with Mobile Beat is the internet connection is just great down there. But at Wedding MBA, you could theoretically send, half a dozen people with phones and battery power supplies, and you could be broadcasting their whole event. And as Rob said, his internet connection is solid. I've been down there in that convention center shooting and uploading videos as fast as I could, and because of that fast 4G connection in there, the LTE connection, I've not had my battery made the day.
Wow.
Which doesn't typically happen. Yeah, most of the time it's like, oh, wow. Okay, we're down to 3G, and now we're down to, what's 1X mean? I don't know what 1X means, as it's getting really slow. So,
wow, that's really impressive.
So,
I wonder about like actually checking out some of the other, like kind of straying from the channels or the DJ channel to go and check out like the event planners or things like that. Sometimes like if you get out of the usual conversations that are going on, and that you can get like really new big ideas just out of taking your frame of reference or point of view and putting it together with something that maybe the planners are doing or the way that they're looking at something, like really new great ideas can pop out of that.
Oh, for sure. I think you mentioned JD is doing that. And I've talked to some people like, Ron Ruth and others who've been there and have done that and gone and sat in. And one of the biggest things they've come out with is the low the low esteem that the rest of the industry has for mobile DJs. That they basically go in there and they want to make sure that they're covering the DJ part of their name tag, because
is that so? Like people you're really treated poorly, huh?
For sure. It's like to a point. I think, especially when they first started. I think maybe it's changed now as people like Peter Mary and Ron Ruth and Mike Walter and such are on stage and putting on showing that
demonstrating quality,
that they are a quality presenter and they have good content and information. But early on, the first few times DJs were going into this, and they were kind of treated as that little bastard child over in the corner that everyone was like, oh yeah, at least we're not one of them.
Yeah, so, right. Yeah,
I think it's changed, but
that's really good, and that's really great, because it's like the more that we can showcase like the best that the industry has to offer and have that be what the conversation is. I mean, every industry will have like, oh yeah, those guys. I mean, every industry does have that, but to be putting on showcase of like, these are the best of the best, and these are the ones that are actually like innovating and creating new ideas and entertainment and that sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure. And that I think that's through the efforts of a lot of people, they've been able to put on that and change the opinion of a lot of people out there.
Yeah. Well, and it's not just within the wedding industry. I remember there was a time where Bill and I had a publicist for the entertainment experience, and she was actually trying to get us some press for the work that we were doing with bringing the different point of view of the entertainment experience to DJs and event planners and that sort of thing. And nobody would even take her seriously. Like, we couldn't send enough. They're like, well, you're going to have to send me like a full length reel to show me this. Cause they were like, I don't believe you, like she was just running a line of press. Oh, and these are entertainers. Okay. I think the only way and the only way around that would have been to say, if we like did something completely unrelated, which is that defies logic, right? Cause it's like, the expertise is in wedding entertainment, but they're skeptical of that. But if you say like, oh, well, I worked with Dustin Hoffman, or we were in Major Motion Pictures, which has nothing to do with weddings. Oh, well, this is fascinating. Let's talk about this.
And now you're just that much more talented.
Right. You're just amazing now. Well, that would be great. You should totally do that. Yes. That should just show films at wedding receptions. So yeah, it's really, the whole perception game is really, really fun. Not fun, but really funny and weird. And, hope to, I think that over time that it's gradually changing, especially as different companies are upping the standards of and setting the standard then.
Very much so. Very much so. And thinking back to the very first conventions we went to and seeing the people and then seeing where they are today, even those that were on the top of their game back then, and how they have pushed that envelope even farther. I mean, Mike Walter, when I first met him back in the late 90s and such in that range, he was a good business owner, and he did a nice job. But now, as time has gone on, he's gone from being a good business owner to a great business owner who's really multifaceted with his speaking and presenting and teaching and everything he does, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah, well, and I think just like the ongoing conversation of what does it look like to up the game? What does it look like to went from like, well, more lights, more volume to even conversations about performance. And I think even the back and forth between like, oh, well, this is too MC heavy or that's too DJ heavy, and back and forth really creates a push and pull on both of those so that both of them can excel. And I'm hearing a lot of DJs talk about or conversations around mixing and programming and what that looks like and how to work a room and things like that, which really, in the early days of just doing event DJing, really wasn't going on a lot. There were mixed DJs and then there were wedding and event DJs, right? And the whole mixing, and there was some programming, but not really in the whole kind of mixing aspects of it.
Yeah, especially to the level in which and granted, there's some of you are watching and you're more just the playback, you're not into the mixing, but there's the watching MJ as an example. When MJ was in Danmore doing the music show a couple of weeks ago, and the depth in which he's describing the way he can mix a song, one particular song, he would mix into it 4 different ways because depending upon the cue point and what he wanted to do with it. I don't remember that discussion back when we first started. don't remember. I think we were just happy if we could make sure there wasn't dead air between songs. So it has changed and changed for the better.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it creates a pull upwards, and also I think that and even thinking about one of the things I loved about having Jason Janai do a big performance in the first Mobile Beach show that Bill and I helped to design and direct I thought it did what I thought has really been missing in the industry a long time, and that is something to give people something to aspire to. Like, that was amazing. I want to do that. Want. Right. And so then, let's have 100 people trying to out mix and outperform Jason Janai. That's only going to be better for the whole industry and its value and the money you can get and the whole works, And
I think Jason, what was nice about him being on stage, not only are people seeing that and it gives them something to really kind of look at and emulate, but it was a fellow mobile DJ. When we go into these exhibit halls and you're seeing, the Pioneer booth, Newmark Den, and whatever booth, they've got someone who's mixing and scratching and doing their thing, but that's probably not someone who does mobile events. They may be doing a club or they might only do product demonstrations. So what they're playing and how they're presenting the music isn't something that really works maybe on a dance floor.
Right.
Whereas the things that Jason was doing were probably things that he would use on his dance floor. Maybe not everything, because I know some of the songs he picked because he wanted to have a specific song and do something specific with it, and you wouldn't dance to the song. But
right, and even especially in the one club night that he performed at, between I think Tone Loc was there, right? If I remember correctly.
Jazzy Jeff.
It was Jazzy Jeff. That's right. Tone Loc was that was years before. So, but he would, they did their performance and then he took it back to him and he was mixing into the oldies and Brown Eyed Girl. And it wasn't just doing electronic music.
Yeah.
But actually moving into different genres and things like that and dropping in and out and still doing the stuff of shifting the energy and just doing a really amazing things with that, kind of showing wow, it's those limitations. Oh, you can't do that. And well, that's a guitar riff and that doesn't really mix well. And all those are just excuses. There are ways to make it work. It's all an artist's palette,
Very much so, and it's interesting that you're talking about that. MJ and I were talking about that earlier today. I was mentioning some songs that I play at weddings in the grouping that I play them in, and he's talking about there are ways to mix these songs. You can do that. There are tools in your kit, or you can have these things where you can. So it's truly, if a person wants to do that and is passionate and puts the practice in and puts the time in, you can become doing something similar to what Jason Janai does.
That would be a great workshop, mixing oldies, mixing stuff that isn't isn't just coming in, isn't electronic.
Yeah.
And mixing different acoustic things. And I know that Adrian Kavlin, that's right. Yep. He loves mixing jazz. Right. So there again, there's a lot of acoustic instruments and that sort of thing that he's mixing back and forth when he's mixing jazz sets, which I haven't heard it yet, but with the tone, not tone matching, but key matching.
Yes.
In the mixing, which is it's a whole another kind of science. But it's just exciting because there are so many options then for you to excel, right? So you can either be a great host and storyteller and have that be your thing, and then be a pretty good DJ, or you could find someone who's a really amazing DJ, or that's their thing, and you can combine the two and have this amazing show, or maybe just programming and mixing is your thing, because it's when that's done really, really well, people go nuts.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just it's not just oh, nobody cares. No, people care. They think it's amazing when it's really done amazing. You can really, really wow them. And there's so many different tracks just even within wedding to differentiate yourself.
A couple of the guys, Reggie, Matt, and Michael, all were talking about beat matching and scratching not working at weddings in the central Wisconsin specifically is what Reggie and Matt were talking about. And I guess I would have to. I probably 5 years ago I would have said about the same thing, is because people want to hear. Matt mentions that people want to hear the full song, or Michael mentions that. I I think mixing at a wedding, when it comes to beat mixing, isn't something you do every time. You're not going to be beat mixing the whole night long. Even in the club situation, and MJ, he'll talk more about this. He can mention more about this later. I don't think you're in. Even in the uncha clubs that I've been into and had a few too many drinks, they aren't beat mixing the whole night. There's going to be some times where they want a train wreck. There's going to be times where it's a slam mix. There were times where it was a beat mix and they went for their 10, 15 minutes with the same tempo the whole time. It's a variety. The key thing that is do people want to hear the whole song, or can I mix out maybe when Vanilla Ice basically gets that little break with about 2/3 of the way through? Can I mix out of that? And can I mix into something that will be such a quick hook that it will grab them and make them forget about Vanilla Ice and go like, oh my God. And if I can do that as I'm basically on beat, can that work? And it's work.
Oh, definitely. And I would say it depends on the song. There are some songs you can play some of it like, yeah, this is fun, and then mix into something else, and they're like, okay. And then like you're playing Footloose, and they're like, hey, it's not over yet, right? It like really depends on the song and like knowing which ones they want to hear the whole thing, and which ones you can move in and out of, and I'm sure there's probably some trial and error, but I am in full agreement with you. It's not like it's, I guess I don't think either of us are necessarily implying that if you're actually doing mixing and programming, that when you're doing like a wedding type event, that you're going to be doing mixing like you would at a club, where it's like every 15, 20 seconds, let's go into something else and let's switch into this and let's run into this and run up to that and pull in and out of stuff. That just moves too quickly for that kind of event, depending on who your audience is, depending on that audience,
Yeah, for sure. And that's a huge thing, because I have one audience for one of my weddings that's going to be coming up next summer, and it's probably a night where I need to have someone like an MJ or like DJ Kilma from Winnipeg that are into the electronic music, because that's the kind of, not that MJ's he's more of rounded in where she's really into the EDM, but that's what they're looking for, is more of that.
No, SoundCloud.
Yeah, it'll be a
John's bathroom break. Okay, I'm just going to put this SoundCloud thing on, and I'll be right back in 15 minutes.
It'll be a little difficult, because now I'm going to have to change the way I perform during that dance time, because I'm usually back and forth and changing, as we talk about on Tuesday nights, and starting out with a little bit lower and building up the energy, and then bringing it back and changing to a different genre, what have you. So it'll be an interesting show. But it could be,
no doubt,
could be the future of where our weddings are, as we have a younger generation that's been growing up with that EDM world.
EMD music, John?
EDM, didn't I say it right?
Isn't it EDM? I thought it was EDM.
Yeah, I think I said it right.
EMD? I don't know.
Maybe he might have been talking about something up above too.
Anyway, getting back to the Wedding MBA that's going on right now. Do you think? I wonder. One of the things I guess that I wanted to ask Rob, but there just wasn't enough time. But maybe you could ask, or whoever pops on later or whatever, we could bring this question up. Is like, I wonder how much is there anything new, or are there new conversations that are going on in the DJ presentations, or the presenters for the DJs or the entertainers, the wedding entertainers, that we haven't been hearing at the last Mobile Beat, or the very industry specific conferences? You know what I mean? Is it because it's the Wedding MBA? Is it more specific? Are there more genres brought in? Are there other perspectives that are brought in? Or is it kind of a lot of the same?
I think it's kind of similar. And the interesting thing is, as Rob mentioned earlier with that they've already announced the lineup and such, the topics and some of the speakers I'm sure they're talking about right now, and you can buy your show pass for next year. Yeah. So the Wedding MBA folks are looking in that, trying to get that little crystal ball and really trying to guess where they're going and what they're doing, and then they'll be plugging people into these different things. Is there something that's revolutionary out there That's a great question. I don't know if it's revolutionary as much as you're seeing things that are being pulled and moved across from maybe the event planners, and some of that's being moved. We got a little hand in the
My
back.
son is photobombing the show.
You got a little hand in the. Yeah, I guess I could see. My son just came to the door a few minutes ago, and it's like
Now the youngest one came in here too.
so it's I don't know if there's anything in the DJ world as I'm looking at topics, and I've talked to some of the guys who are talking and such. There he is. Hello.
My progeny.
It needs a hat. Where's the hat?
You won't wear one.
Reggie, what light? Tell me what light you're, and then we'll get back. We'll touch on that in a little bit.
To see the new light from the EDJ.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one he's talking about. So there's just I think that a lot of things with these shows where they're opening up the door. Wedding MBA, the MBA people are kind of opening doors and hoping that they get some cool stuff that comes in, even though they're kind of again looking in a crystal ball and taking a shot in the dark a year out from the presentations.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that where they're getting some of that inspiration is looking across the hallway at what are the coordinators, what are they talking about, what are they seeing and struggling with, and then that's why I think you saw. I'm going to take us back to that schedule. If I have, where's the schedule today? A great example of that is after the rehearsal is the title. So when they contacted Mike Walter, they said, "Hey, we want you to do a presentation, and we want the name of it to be after the rehearsal." So now what does Mike do with it? Well, let's see. I've been working on performance stuff, so we're going to do performance-based. I'm reading right off their schedule. Performance-based techniques for DJs, which I'm sure there was Mike's subtitle. That was him. Not all DJs are created equal. With the right entertainment philosophies and innovative techniques, you'll be the most requested entertainment company in your area. Well, that really has nothing to do with the rehearsal.
Right.
Tips to work with the crowd and create energy at the right moments, way to stand out without stealing the spotlight. And none of that has anything to do with the rehearsal.
Except it does come after.
Okay, that's like, I might as well say after the Big Bang. I mean, they said there's just,
and then there was everything.
Now I'm intrigued because I didn't realize
if the title's ambiguous enough.
So now we're gonna go to Ron Ruth because I have a little. We've talked to Ron about his. So his was the good, the bad, and the ugly. That was the title of it, and
isn't that he did that presentation for a conclave though? Didn't he?
He did a variation of it. Yeah. Yeah,
it was like things that like DJs put on their Facebook wall while they're performing or they're texting or all that sort of thing.
Yeah, but he did that. He did something. Yeah, and then this one he's talking about what customers do. We'll have to find out. We'll talk to one of these guys and find out if they gave them the title of after the rehearsal and the good, the bad, the ugly, or if they gave them the subtitle and then they came up with the title. Because again, in Mike's case, they're like, it's completely disjoint. There's two different things, not even close. Ron's is a little bit, what your customer experience says about your business. Wedding industry is in the midst of a service crisis that had left wedding couples disenchanted. Rebel against the status quo and give your business the competitive edge. Yeah, okay, so, that's vague enough. I could maybe get Ron's in there. Yeah. And then Randy,
Ron, is he doing two? Because I thought I saw him doing the story selling.
Yes, he's doing that on Wednesday, so he'll be sharing that. Let's look at Randy's quick, as long as we're looking at these, and then we'll get back. We'll get into some questions here because there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about that you guys have brought up. Randy's is the change up, connecting moments to create experiences. And every wedding reception is a series of moments. If you don't connect them seamlessly, they become disconnected activities rather than the emotional experience your couples will remember.
Nice.
So changing up, changing from one to the next, that his actually works. So one was a complete swing and a miss. Yeah, he should get a cookie. That's why everyone's sitting in there watching it. They're like, oh wow, this is amazing.
Right? Exactly. Like this fits the title. We've got to see that.
This must be a really good.
And it's so apropos for what he's talking about too.
Yeah. And I enjoy listening to Randy because he's even if the topic is something that's really not interesting, he is such he's got that sense of humor that's just fun to listen to.
Oh, he's funny.
Yeah,
He's
he
really
is.
funny. I mean, he's confident enough that and relaxed enough when he's like sharing and talking and speaking off the cuff that he just says like funny observations, and he's in the moment, he's relaxed, and he's just a funny guy. And so it's really great. I often wonder if he is that same kind of relaxed, funny guy when he is performing at weddings. Because if he is, it's got to be just the best.
Oh yeah, I could see that. I think he would probably be one that could do that sharp wit, that thinking on his feet, and he doesn't have those moments like it's like, oh man, I should have said that.
Yeah, right. Well, being in the moment instead of being in your head, like, oh, what do I say about this? If you just react to it like everyone, if you just say what everyone's thinking in the room, they're going to laugh. Like, I was thinking that.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Let's see. Reggie, the Stinger Gobo. I don't know if any of those the lights are shipping yet. I'm not sure on that. I haven't seen one. As soon as they're out, I think they were going to be sending those up so I could take them apart a little bit and show you guys what they can do. And
that's a long name. Stinger Gobo Wash Moonflower Laser.
Yeah, it's a Stinger Gobo Wash, and it has moonflower and a laser in it, and it's a cool all-in-one light. I'm looking forward to that, because I think two of those would definitely give a person a great little show.
And have a lot of different diversity.
Let's see. I'm just trying to see if there's any other questions back a little ways. I mean, you guys are.
Why have the photo booth set up at a wedding when nobody can use it until after dinner?
Yeah, I've had that on a few occasions. It's interesting. This past week, so let's go into that. Who Mark brought the photo booth. I had two wedding calls that came in Thursday, and I haven't had two calls for weddings. One here, one there, maybe two a week is about what I get. I don't get as many as we used to. Two are in the same day. And as we're going through and we're talking about it, different dates next year, and we're going through and finding out, what are they looking for a little bit before I even waste time suggesting that we meet.
Right.
And both of them they've one came from referral, one came from she saw my show, so we're in good shape with that. So it's looking good. In both cases, photographers already, the venue obviously and church, that's all done. Photographers are good, videographers are good, and they both already had their photo booth rented out.
Wow.
So it's like,
that must have been a higher priority.
I know. I'm thinking, okay, and now you're calling me after that? I was like, I don't know if I should be offended or not.
Well, I think you should put up your photo booth website. It sounds like.
I'm like, it's like, yeah. How did
going
that
there first? The photo booth is going to feed you the DJ gig.
I don't know if you guys are seeing that where they're calling on the photo booth. That was just crazy. I had never had that before. It's always like, oh, and then we're going to get a photo booth. And I've had more times where they've called and it's like, oh, we're just getting, and we haven't gotten a photographer yet. We haven't gotten any of these things yet, but we're just trying to get some numbers and setting a budget. And it wasn't those calls. It was, you're the last thing on our list.
check. Oh, yeah. And by the way, we'd like to have it be fun.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe if you can maybe do that. And oh, by the way, okay, so let's continue on that topic or a variation.
Well, actually,
yeah.
Where were you going to go?
Yeah.
I was just going to reflect on, and we can drop this and cover whatever you're going to do. But I heard somebody say that there is a photo booth association that's forming.
Let's talk about that. You know what we forgot to do? We forgot to
table that.
Our sponsors.
Oh, we have sponsors. Commercials to play. There's bills to pay.
Yeah, there's bills to pay, and we're like being really bad. This is what happens when I've been gone for a while, and then I come back and I
go to the bathroom and stop dancing.
I'm so excited. I just want to continue to talk. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got our sponsors tonight. We've got DJ Event Planner. We've got Denon DJ. We have got Top Hits USA and Electro Voice. We'll be right back as we show you some little love from our sponsors.
DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
Hits USA from RPM. Our name says it all. Get the latest hits while they're the hottest. With Top Hits USA, you'll have the track for sure. Visit tophitsusa.com or call 800-521-2537 and get a free demo.
No way. I can stop lighting my water bottle. They wouldn't even care about the health benefits. Like, who cares about health benefits?
That's the most awesome water bottle ever, man.
I gotta have one. That's it. I'll take one. Give me 10.
Maybe 15 because they look great. I can line them up on my headboard here. That'd be great.
I'm not one to get into multi-levels anymore, but I might do it just for the water bottle. It's just, I might get a good push of sales in a short amount of time.
Let's see. ERG Music, Reggie. We're going to get a couple of questions here, and then we're going to get back to
that thought. Where'd it go?
Where did that thought?
I think I got it.
Before we left, we were going to.
I brought up something about wedding or about photo booth associations. You
yes,
said,
photo booth association. We'll get
first.
to that.
We're going to talk about.
Let's talk about that. So, photo booth association is something that was started back. I think they announced it at the photo booth show that happened back in March of last year, and that is. Let me back up farther. Initially, the Photo Booth Association was introduced the year before by some photo booth guys, basically a company, some guys that owned a photo booth. They came in there, and they had their booth set up. And if you go and watch, it's almost worth the time of going back, searching YouTube, finding our walk around video, looking at it, because in the video, it's like you go up there and they got their banner, and it looked okay. I mean, it wasn't trashy. I mean, it was a nice. And there was absolutely nothing there. There wasn't a website. There wasn't any information there. It was basically just this banner.
Collecting dues.
No, he was trying to get a feel for would there be of interest in this. So, just basically.
That doesn't work. Like,
no, it doesn't. But he spent the money to get it there. So,
wow.
So we went from that, and then at past year's show, then Drax introduced the Photo Booth Association, which is kind of a variation of the ADJA.
Sure.
It's being run.
Well, I mean, he's got all the infrastructure. I mean, it would be easy to roll it out,
For sure.
All that.
For sure. And that way he can, he's got the insurance connections from the others. So now they can do insurance with that. Oh. And he can go through and, get some different benefits, because that's really a big thing with what the ADJA has, is they have different benefits for their members. So that's what he's been really working on. And he's having really good luck with that, to be able to put together something nice. And he's having people come on board with that. So
cool.
So yeah, it's definitely something. If you're in the photo booth world, it could be something to check out. Mark asked, "Was photo booth is wasted money?" That's a great question. That's a really great question. Some people I've talked to have been doing very, very well with photo booth, and some people not so much. And I don't think it's as much of a quality of the equipment as opposed to if the market that they're in. And the connections they have within the market. And I think the connections they have within the market are more valuable than the market that they are in.
Yeah, sales and marketing thing, especially because it's much less, it's not based more commodity. It's really not based on talent or experience very much, It's more of fairly, one photo booth is going to be similar to another in terms of an experience. There's some variations. Otherwise, it's like, so what venues are we going? Well, go with John's photo booth. Go with that sort of thing,
for sure.
As an add-on toward of thing. So it's totally, I think, a sales and marketing thing.
It really is. And you have to really, I think, with the photo booth to be successful, you need to go all out with it, meaning that you're going to be doing some very nice strips or very nice layouts with the photos, and you have to have a nice backdrop, and you have to have the good props with it. And a camera's got to be a good camera that's going to take a good quality picture, and you're going to have it so they're filling the frame and not just two little heads in the middle of a big square. You've got to really make sure that your end product is high quality. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I think that it will, as someone said, the photo booth, basically, if it's good, it will sell itself. And I think that's exactly it.
Yeah. And then be consistent.
Yeah. Just a friend, one of the guys who was gone with me, Jaron, he had his wedding. It would be two weekends ago. And Jeremy Lanby, who you guys have seen before, Jeremy had their photo booth there. He has a very nice photo booth, and his fiancée runs that. And they did the little memory book. So when people were done, they could put the strip in there, and they could write this. And they were putting that together the next day. As if you guys go and you follow Jeremy Lanby, you saw the live video of Jerry doing this while we're talking, and it's like that. That's the kind of stuff you need to do. You can't be a lazy, I just saw, Reggie, I just saw you throw that word out there, but you can't be a lazy photo booth operator and expect it to come to you.
Right.
Initially, yes, but now you have to be able.
Now that there's competition,
it's got to be, something that you're out there, you're pushing and making it a business and such. Let's see.
Exactly. Like this. I've been dying to show this off.
Oh yeah, let's. We talked about it as we came live before, so let's. So
this is
guys,
my new water bottle, and I think this is going to go crazy in the DJ world. I'm turning off the lights because this is the first of its kind. It's an uplit water bottle. There, isn't that awesome? Yeah.
Yep. Nice.
The best part is there. It's two colors, and then when you do it this way, it actually charges the water, so it looks like a nuclear capsule. And when you drink it, you'll become a superhero.
Wow.
Or wait a minute, when you drink enough of it, it will be. Yeah. I'm still working on that.
Wait a second, if you drink too much of it.
You'll be super hydrated.
So where did you pick that up at?
It's made by Valera, and it's a gal that sells water purification and all that kind of stuff. But I got it because it lights up.
It lights up, yeah. Oh, for sure.
Mm.
For sure.
Tastes delicious. Now, wouldn't that look great right next to your console? Dude.
It would. Getting back to Jason Janai. Jason had one. I saw a picture of one of his systems he had set up. Cool. His stuff is just, everything he does is really good quality.
He's got the cool factor down.
He does. So he's got his DJ set up, and on his table, he's got two nice looking desk lamps, like end table lamps, the kind of grandma would have.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I've seen those, right?
I saw that and I'm thinking, my immediate reaction is like, oh, grandma would be upset that those are missing.
Right?
And then afterwards, I'm thinking, it looks nice.
That's pretty hip.
So I'm doing my I had two homecomings last weekend. So I'm doing my two homecomings and I'm thinking to myself, God, I would kill for Jason's grandma's light right now because it's so dark back here. As, the kids bring up a note and you're saying, excuse me, sir, can you play this? And I'm thinking, I can't see that. It's too dark here. If I can't see it on my screen, I can't. Oh, yeah. Grandma's lamps. Oh, let's see. I was hoping we'd be able to catch one more person as they were headed out after the show was over, after Randy was done. But Randy might have gone a little long too. He does that.
Or he was just so good that they're all like talking about what he said.
Oh, well, that could be too.
Randy is trending, is what's happening right now.
Exactly. We could be on Facebook right now, and Randy might be talking about
everywhere, right? Go look at the 1% solution group. Like, it's got to be something in there.
He's probably doing his posting,
right? Yeah, he's posting. Oh, I'm killing it here.
Boy, you should see how great I am.
LOL.
Oh, funny stuff.
Good stuff. Well, what a bummer you have to miss it this year.
I was really bummed.
Travel plans got dashed by this eye surgery. So you're just going to be the anchor reporter stuck back at the studio.
Yeah, that's what it'll be. And tomorrow we'll probably have to do a before we go on with Brian Red. We'll get some folks together and do a day two. From experience at these shows, day one is generally you get there, you check in, you go, and then like about 8 or 9 o'clock tonight, so when they're finally going to go,
right? What happened?
And then 9 o'clock out there is 11 o'clock here, and we don't play that game that well anymore.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like
it's on a Monday night.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like the news starts at 10. Oh, we'll never say that.
Like, can we record? I'll catch it tomorrow.
If it's really important, it'll beep across my phone at some point in time.
Right. Or like some of my friends go, I just look at Facebook. I mean, if it's really important, people are going to be sharing it. So I'm like,
exactly. Oh. Yeah, that's always accurate.
Right. It's like, that's not really real news. You know that, right?
Funny.
BuzzFeed is not a news source.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what it is.
Well, I mean, it's not hard news anyway.
Yeah, that's so many of them are like, oh my, look at this. I saw it. Right.
Right?
It's like,
Exactly.
that's not the way it works.
Too funny.
Oh, well, I think what we'll do, Jason, we'll wrap it up. I think MJ and Dan and Shani are getting ready for the next show. So
Awesome.
we'll make some plans to see if we can come back tomorrow evening a little bit early and give you guys an update from Wedding MBA, because there's some cool stuff there, and I want to make sure that you guys get a chance to check that out. Jason, I want to thank you for filling in for me for a couple of weeks here while I've been off and playing with surgeries and eye
No,
stuff.
my pleasure. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And everyone was very tolerant
Yeah,
of my tech skills. I was just starting to get it down by the time you get back. So
yeah. Well, I think
I made sure they missed you.
yeah. I'm afraid that there's a few more surgeries that are going to happen between now and the end of the year. So
Yeah, well,
hopefully you
don't
don't
worry, we got
forget
you
too
covered.
much. You don't forget too much. So, gang, we're oh yeah. See, they're behind. When they see this. We're already getting close to 8:00, so
Exactly.
there's a delay. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. We'll be back in a few minutes. If you go down into the description below, you'll see show 2. Click on that here in a few minutes, and we'll be back with the crew talking about time to upgrade these different components of our DJ career. So thank you for watching. We'll be back in about 3 or 4 minutes.